There's some very important action. We've achieved objectives that I've been talking about for months in Euro USD. So I'm just waiting so I could share this. It takes a second or so. Want all of our trading warrior brothers and sisters to see it on Periscope, on Twitter. So just still waiting. I'll refresh it again, see if that'll do it. Here we go. Okay. All right, let's go to work. All right, so followers know that I thought this low would be taken out. That it confirmed the low. We had a little bounce up here to 106, and here we are again. Now on the daily, we're showing some divergence, and this was my target. You could go back for months when the Dixie was 104 and 103 and even 102. If you don't want to give me the bottom at par, because I went to Chicago, but I changed my mind about the dollar back then, talking 109, never relented from that target of 109, and that's where we're sitting right now, 109.04. Now, I'm not saying that one day it's going to have to do a little work here, but I do believe that I would not be uh, long the dollar now. Okay, you might get some more downside as it does some work into New Year's, but this is really, when you look at it, let's take a little bit of a macro view. Take a look at a weekly. Okay, so here was the low in 22. And we rallied, pretty good rally. And basically what we've had is an A, B, C, complicated, but C. And all it's been doing all this time for over, almost 3 years after this initial rally has been consolidating. So we got overbought and we really didn't give up much. In fact, here we are just a little bit away from 61.8. Didn't quite get there. That would be like 101.90-ish. So that's, we could do some work there over the next few days. I'd been talking about 123 in cable, and yesterday's low was 123.52. So cable still is weaker. You could see it. And I also gave the lesson about euro pound. I said, quote, I want to see euro make a new low and euro pound not making a new low. So the euro made a new low, right? I just showed it. That's a weekly, but I'll just show it again. So even on a 4 hour, made a new low. And this is why I think it has to do work, this RSI reading. But we are back inside the wedge, but we could do some work in here, like I said, and I'm repeating myself. Um, but you look at what's happening here in the euro and you compare it to something like what's happening in um, Canada. Canada was unable to make a new high yesterday. Maybe it will to clean up this confirmed high here. I'm going to be very interested in Aussie. I think we have two drives here. We could have one more, right? One more drive to the downside. And again, so, we're at a crossroads. We know that the incoming administration wants a lower dollar, although they have a conundrum. You can't have a real weak dollar without having pressure on whether or not other countries are going to push for the U.S. to lose its reserve currency status. And I know 100% that is something that President Trump would not want on his record, U.S. to lose its reserve currency status on his watch. So let's move to the metals. I talked about that I was getting long some miners here. They're putting in a pretty good week. We're not open yet, but I put it out on Twitter. I put it in the room, and I bought this Monday. So right here, and all of them have had nice runs, 10% off the bottom. A lot of it's because of tax loss selling's out of the way, and a lot of it, something to back up that the dollar could be peaking, is how closely correlated the gold silver ratio is to it, and it's coming off pretty good. So we have two drives. Is that enough? Could we get one more push up? Sure. And that would be a three. But silver having a great week. Um, I don't think that you could, since we didn't have the opening, but here's your week. But what I do want to point out, look at that, held the weekly 50 week moving average. I think we're going up to 37. We'll see for a third drive. So that's a possibility. It's almost an outside week in some of the miners. We already have outside weeks, and I wanted to show you GDX. That's a measure that most people use, but look, check it out. So here, this was a triangle. I'll break out my telescope and show you the monthly. So we had this huge triangle from the COVID low and the big run we had here. Here's the breakout last year. It went to 44. Look at what we pulled back to last week. So this is a monthly. So we have an inside month happening now. But many of the miners are having outside weeks to the upside. And, I still think maybe there's lower silver, maybe not, but just to look in the miners, I had to go ahead and do it. So there's your outside week in GDX. Um, Here's your outside week in Endeavor, your outside week in Fortuna. So great week in the miners. And you're wrong under this week's lows. Always have to know where you're wrong. Also want to touch upon Bitcoin because we had this, it looked like it was trying to break down under 92, and it did so right here. It only had one candle closing at 91.8 and then reversed it. So this was just a stop hunt, at least so far. So this may also be telegraphing that the dollar is going to be weakening here. If we start getting back over 98, that's going to look okay. So some telegraphing happening there. S&Ps, we'll see. I don't think it was a great week, but we have a little double bottom working here. Something that really fell off the table that I'm going to be monitoring if we get, and I'm rooting for a blow off, new highs, at least a real good rally in the market, hoping we don't break down. I don't have any short exposure there, but I think that a weaker dollar will also be a tailwind for the market. So we'll see if that happens. I think that covers it. 10-year is still stubborn. Still looks like it wants to make another move to the upside. Bonds, they're trying, but sideways at best. So we'll see what happens. I'm still looking for risk. I did want to show you how Apple just fell off the table. Not that there weren't, there was a 4 hour divergence here. See this right here? But that's a big break. You know, you're talking $20 in, about 3 days. The thing that gives me pause, and we'll see if the longer term time frame matters, is although we have divergence here in Apple on the 4 hour, we have confirmed highs on the daily in Apple, right? A little divergence here. I tell you what, we got any kind of rally, and we can't call it bad until it negates the breakout, which was, 236 or so. So I haven't missed anything getting out of NVIDIA. I'm monitoring. Microsoft has really been the weakness. Pretty big break, never took out the July high. So um, give me one good rally, breakout over 6,100. That'd be great to set up a lot of shorts, and I'll have a big laundry list of things I'm looking for. But the thing I think I'm going to be involved in this year is going to be participating in a bear market in the dollar, which I think eventually takes out par. Here's par. And we trade down here. 96, 90. Anyway, this is a big call. I don't want to see it trade back over, say 110.50 closes. I don't want to see it starting to close over 110. It could play in the area. So if I want to be generous, I could give it like a 111. But this is, I believe, close to 78.6 back here. And we'll see what happens over the coming weeks to see if Trump gets what he wants and can jawbone this dollar lower. So I hope everyone has a great weekend. Looking forward to 2025. The market's volume should be back at full strength next week when everyone comes back from the Caribbean. And remember, this weekend is when you have your plan. So we're going to be looking for dollar selling opportunities going into next week. And we're going to be watching what happens in the miners to see if we get follow through. We're going to be watching the gold silver ratio to see if this was it or there's one more shot back up here, putting in a pretty negative week. So maybe this is it. I was thinking we could go to 95, but this close, makes me doubt it. Maybe that this was it. And the gold silver ratio, we're not going to go to 95. We'll see, but a lot of important things happen this week while everyone is away. And there's your daily on the gold silver ratio. Now, this one did diverge pretty good between these highs here. So it took a long time to negate the confirmed high here, but now it has. I think that whether we go to 95 or not, one of the better trades is going to be being short this, because I do believe we're going to take out these lows, and see maybe a 60 handle on the gold silver ratio. So that's my call. Have a great weekend, everybody. Don't just count your pips, count your blessings. Get ready, find a community to be part of so that you can bounce your ideas and see what other people are doing. You only have two eyes. I only have two eyes. And when you surround yourself with people that are at a higher level, you will rise to their level. That's it. Have a great weekend, everybody. Adios.